Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me for your daily tarot reading. I ask you to choose the stone that draws you, the one that really resonates, the one your gut would pick, or the two, and we can begin. We can also ask Spirit a question and have that question in mind as we listen. There will be a Golden Nugget card at the end to offer some clarification for your reading if you'd like it. All right, so let's begin. For those of you who chose this beautiful purple and clear stone, we have the Justice card. We have the Ace of Wands. We have the Knight of Cups. All right, well, justice, if there has been something that's been unfair in your life, justice could be on your mind. It could be sort of begging for expression, right? It may be on your side. Usually I feel like when the Justice card comes up, that is about something being righted, at least in part, something that hasn't been fair to you. Perhaps you are the one who will be righting that wrong and saying, you know what, balance. There is fairness. And fairness is, well, different people may have different ideas about what's fair. But sometimes a truth just rings. When there is fairness that needs to be established, sometimes, see, she's got the sword of truth there. Sometimes the truth is just the truth, and when you speak it, it really has an effect. So there may be something that is coming in to balance things for you. That Justice card can also be about, the rule of law. I mean, it truly can. It can be about the rule of law. It can be about being led by what seems right. It can be about balancing between two things, balancing between two people. That Justice card can be about a lot of things. This Knight of Cups that comes with it, the Ace of Wands that comes with it. So there's an opportunity. Now, the Knight of Cups, it may be that you're offering something to somebody who really loves to see it. It's a welcome thing. You decide, it's only fair if this person receives this. This may be even a social justice issue. And you're thinking of a group of people. It may be that you want to offer a message that, serves to remedy, even in small part, some injustice. The Knight of Cups, however, too, can be a figure that wants to bring a smile to your face, wants to make a good impression, but isn't entirely mature, doesn't understand, doesn't put his whole self forward or her whole self forward. A little deceptive sometimes manipulative. It depends upon who it is and what that Knight of Cups signifies. So if there is a manipulative person in your world, if you go right on back to what's fair, that might be a good guide. Because manipulative people, a lot of times they do appeal to your guilt. They appeal to your empathy. They appeal to your compassion. And pretty soon, what they feel they need emotionally becomes the most important thing. And pretty soon, they're having the lion's share of consideration in different issues. And that's not fair. So sometimes coming right back to the sword of truth and justice really does clarify things. It's just like we put a blindfold over our eyes and we say, okay, we're not even going to look at that person or what they're saying or what they're insisting. We're just going to ask ourselves, if it was anybody else in that person's shoes, what would be fair? And sometimes that really does help us because there are, frankly, and manipulative people, sometimes everybody can be manipulative to some extent, don't get me wrong. But some people have more of a trouble with this than others. And sometimes they themselves believe they need more, you know? They're so emotional, perhaps. That's a Knight of Cups. They need more of this, or they need more of that, or they need more consideration. They need more decision-making power. They need more, more, more. But yet that doesn't seem to fix it, does it? So, maybe the Justice card comes up to encourage an impartial, truth-based assessment of the situation. The Ace of Wands is an opportunity given. So Spirit may, if this is the case, if this is the interpretation that's appealing to you, that feels right, the Ace of Wands can be actually an opportunity given because this person went too far, or this person, who knows, maybe has some willingness to hear about fairness, or they pulled something that they shouldn't have pulled because it's just become crystal clear to you now that, hey, wait a minute here, this isn't fair. So who knows? Who knows? So if there's different kinds of interpretations for this. This can also be a message coming to you that's awfully nice and establishes some fairness. This can be you being a welcome candidate for a job, or a friendship or something, or somebody else coming and being a welcome candidate. All kinds of interpretations here, but I do trust your intuition to choose the right one. All right. For those of you who chose the blue bead, we have Minor Arcana. We have the Page of Wands, Nine of Swords. We have the Two of Cups. Very interesting. Not huge things. It could just be about some dynamic going on this day. The Page of Wands is nice. It's just you're picking up the next thing, the next goal, the next thing that you seem to be able to work up some purpose over or some enthusiasm for. The Nine of Swords is always optional. We do not have to worry. We don't have to stay awake trying to figure out our life. Please don't do that. It's always a bad idea. That's when I think people's resistance is down and the thoughts that want to pull them can just run away with them like unruly horses, And it never goes anywhere. It's never helpful. So the Nine of Swords, oh goodness, even if it's not late at night, sometimes our intellect can be helpful, but it can't be our master. It wants to give us worries that say, hey, come along with us and figure us out. You've got to think about this. You've got to think about this. But do you really have to? And is it going to be helpful? So Eckhart Tolle, I really recommend him. He has videos on YouTube. Eckhart Tolle, Eckhart, Tolle, Tolle. Really gives inspiring wisdom about how to be grounded in presence and keep the mind our servant rather than the other way around. Observe what our mind is doing. It really is just another adaptation. Just like parts of our body. It's a pretty cool adaptation, but it's just another adaptation. And our higher consciousness, our eternal self, is its master and should be. So, that might give you a little help if you have trouble disengaging from the worries. The Two of Cups, that's lovely. That's about seeing eye to eye with someone. Maybe you have a conversation with somebody. Maybe you agree to something. Probably not major arcana stuff, but it's still nice to be understood. And sometimes when the people closest to us, we might have a good partnership in there at work, at home, in our friendships. And it's nice to be reminded that not everyone has that. It's good to be understood. And the Two of Cups might be that kind of understanding, that kind of equality, one validating the other. That's lovely. something to focus on, as well as the purpose of the day. All right. Well, that is a terrific guidance there. I always love these readings because they do bring guidance. For those of you who chose the green stone, and I almost said us, so this must be my stone as well. Let's see. Oh my. Well, we got good cards, didn't we now? We have the Empress. We have the Star card. We have the Knight of Swords. Wow. Wow. So the Empress is certainly pregnant and fertile with a new possibility. It's like conditions are great for something new and hopeful to come in, because the Star is about hopefulness. The Star is about believing, because in the Star card, it's nighttime, right? We're inspired by the stars, and in fact, there's the third eye, right? There's the star right there in the middle of that woman's forehead. So the night when you look out on a clear night, so clear that you can see the nebula of the Milky Way. Not only can you see the stars, but you can see the nebula. And everything is still and everything is quiet, and you look over you and you know that you are part of something much greater. That doesn't mean you're insignificant. It means you are one with that. You are incredibly significant. You are part of that consciousness. You are a star. Yes, in a way. You can say it that way. People talk about getting a sense of their own insignificance when they look at the stars. I think what they're talking about there is the insignificance of the troubles and the problems and the preoccupation of the self that we create during this lifetime. I think that's what they're talking about. I get that. Because the self we create during this lifetime, with all our worries and all our history we carry around with us, and all of our efforts, to keep this ego we create in this lifetime safe, or to prop it up, or to build it up, or what have you. That is less significant, right? But our real self, our whole, our greater consciousness is part of the whole. So maybe that star card is an invitation to live in that greater consciousness. She has it shining from her awareness. Now the Knight of Swords, well, now that can be an argument, somebody who wants to argue, somebody who is perhaps younger, not entirely mature. Maybe this person just charging forward and just, trying to move forward with the plan they are really intent on, and they can't seem to see all of the things on the left and the right and in the and ahead, really, in fact. So this can be somebody who's just not seeing that stuff, and they can be kind of sharp. They can be maybe even a little aggressive. But look at what happens when this eternal, life-giving, hope-filled energy meets it. This person just kind of doesn't get it, probably. But, can keep riding on by. I don't know. Our focus then is above and within. And so if you have somebody in your life who's been giving you some trouble, I would suggest the answer is to look to what is greater. And to know that this person is part of that larger consciousness as well. He or she just doesn't realize it yet. And that's, that's on them. They'll get there maybe. But you stay grounded in your reality, the larger reality. So that can be about that. Of course, the Knight of Swords can also be about a plan. that you're charging forward on. That's not quite, it's halfway to completion. It's not there, but you're charging ahead. If that's the feeling, if you, with this brand new energy come in, if you get this moment of, oh, I'm going to charge ahead, then that's that energy that's associated with something new and life-giving coming in. So then it's a good thing. So whatever this means to you, these are extremely good cards. All right, great. Okay, if anybody would like a little clarification from the Golden Nugget, which today is still the Golden Jasper, because I cannot find my Golden Nugget. This is grounding, though. That's just as beautiful. Okay, we have the Fool, which is a brand new beginning beckoning. Huge energy. It is sort of saying, hey, trust us. Take that leap of faith. And sometimes, that feels a little frightening because people think, well, what source want me to do? My gosh, don't want to do something impulsive. But sometimes it's not really about that. It's about an internal surrender. It's about sensing that excitement of something new, understanding that in this lifetime, we must have new things come in. It's part of our growth. It's just something that seems to be true of all the humans on this earth. There's always something new coming in that may be absolutely wonderful, but may require us to open our minds and give the future permission to be different than the past has been, to give the universe permission to bring something new and life-giving, new and growth enhancing, with a spirit of adventure perhaps, giving our future permission to be what's best for us, what's best for the greater consciousness. Because that giving permission is sometimes what shifts it so that Source can bring in the next good thing. All right. Well, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. You take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.